Get that cheese melted. Oh, baby. Oh, just look at that. Yo, what up, Hammies? It's your boy BP Ham, and today we're gonna make a loaded baked potato casserole. And this dish is so good. I mean, it has potatoes, which I love, sour cream, mayo, cream cheese, bacon, cheese, scallion. I mean, what could you ask for? This is actually inspired by a video I watched many years back from, I believe, Dishing with Dai, and I've added my own modifications to it to make it my own, and I'm excited to share that with you so that you can enjoy, with your steak or your chicken or even by itself, hot, cold, whatever you want. These potatoes are so good, so let's get started. For this recipe, you're gonna need red potatoes, kosher salt, olive oil, shredded cheese, bacon, onion powder, paprika, garlic powder, pepper, mayonnaise, sour cream, cream cheese, and green onion. First things first, I'm cooking up the bacon. I like to bake my bacon, so I have my oven preheating to 400 degrees, but you can cook your bacon however you think best. I just think baking it's no fuss, super easy, so I'm just lining it on an aluminum foil sheet with like a wire rack in the middle of it. I'm gonna bake it for about 20 minutes on 400 degrees. So I'm just lining the bacon, and they can touch each other because they will shrink while they are in the oven, so don't worry about that. I'm just using a whole pack here. I don't think there's any necessary need to like save a few pieces unless you want to eat some bacon for breakfast in the morning. And if you run out of room, just put one at the bottom here. Just make sure none of them are overlapping each other. But if they are close together, that's perfectly okay. Make sure when you're working with pork that you always wash your hands thoroughly because you don't want to contaminate anything. So I lined that all up here, and I lined this sheet with 3 things of foil because I have a phobia that one of them is going to rip and the oil is going to get all on the sheet and it's hard to clean. So make sure you line your tin well, and then we're just going to put this into the oven. Hey Siri, set timer for 20 minutes.
20 minutes, starting now.
Now we got our red potatoes, and what we're gonna wanna do is cut these up into smaller pieces. The bigger ones I cut into fourths, and the smaller ones I kind of just cut in half. And then here you can see if your potatoes are good or not, and kind of clean them off if you want. I don't really care that much, so I just chop them into quarters. And then we're gonna roast these at a really high temperature at 450. We're gonna actually twice bake these potatoes, so since we are cooking them once before, you actually can eat them after the first bake and eat them cold as like a cold potato salad. But warming it up makes so much more of a difference because all of those creamy flavors just melt together with the cheese, and it's melted. Drooling a little bit. Oh, and that bacon just already smells really good. I would check on the bacon probably at about 15 minutes to see, and just take them out at your desired doneness. And you can even make this recipe in advance and just bake it up whenever you're ready to eat it. Last one. We're gonna season our potatoes before we roast them because we want every layer of this seasoned so that the end product is just that much better. We're gonna put some kosher salt and just kind of season this to your taste. Probably about half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of salt, about a teaspoon of onion powder, half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of paprika, just for some color and heat, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, or a teaspoon, and then some cracked black pepper. Always use fresh cracked pepper if you can because the flavor is that much better. And then we're gonna finish it off with some olive oil, about 2 tablespoons. The oil is gonna help crisp up the potatoes in the oven. And since we have a bunch of extra gloves in our houses nowadays, I'm gonna use one to mix this around, make sure everything is evenly coated. All right, so our bacon has come out of the oven. It's been about 25 minutes, and just look how great that looks. All that oil is at the bottom, and we're gonna let this cool down and then preheat our oven to 450 so that we can roast our potatoes. I mean, what is better than bacon? Seriously. Now that our bacon is resting, we're going to line our baking sheet with some parchment paper. This is just so that the potatoes don't stick. And then we're gonna put our potatoes on there. You don't want to overcrowd when you're roasting or they'll just kind of steam together. You want to give your potatoes adequate space to breathe. And when I do this, I like to make sure that my potatoes are down on one of the sides and not like up like this, because I like some color on those edges. And sometimes if I'm just doing roast potatoes, to make sure that they're really crispy, I'll put some olive oil on the bottom of the sheet pan. And if you're impatient, you can just throw them all on there. It's all gonna go into a casserole dish at the end of the day, so it doesn't make too big of a difference, but I just like that extra depth of flavor. Toss the rest of those on there. Should fit on 2 baking sheets. And I just love that color that paprika gives these. These are gonna go into the oven at 450 degrees for 25 minutes, and you're gonna want to turn them about halfway through, probably around 13 minutes, and then also switch the pans from bottom to top so they get some even baking in the oven. Now we're gonna prepare the creamy, delicious sauce that we're going to drench these potatoes in. And that starts with green onion. I got about 2 bunches of green onions here. Depending on how much green onion you like, I love the green onion flavor. So we got about 10 stalks here. And we're just going to dice this up into small pieces. This is gonna go inside and on top. So just cut the root ends off, dice them up. And really, you can put whatever you want in this baked potato casserole. I mean, whatever you like in your normal baked potatoes, you can put in. I mean, some people like onions or butter, garlic, whatever you want to put in, be my guest. Next, we're just gonna cut up our bacon, and oh my God, guys, bacon in the oven is just, I mean, it's just so good. And you really can control how crispy you want it. If you want it more crispy, leave it in longer. If you like a more chewier bacon, take it out earlier. I'm gonna spare some of the oil and just dab these just a little bit. There's already a lot of unhealthy things happening in here, but this is optional. You can crumble your bacon by hand or get a knife and chop them up. I'm just going to chop them up quickly. Listen to that crunch. Oh, all right, we got our bacon cut up. Let's start with the base of sour cream. So we got 2 cups of sour cream here. 8 ounces is usually around a cup. So we got sour cream, which I just love. And we got the 2nd cup. Get all of that in there. I know it kind of sounds weird, but mayo. 6 ounces of mayonnaise. And then 4 ounces of cream cheese. So 4, 6, and 8. Make sure that your cream cheese is room temperature so that it is easily spreadable and mixed into the rest of the other ingredients. Give that a good mix, and I'm pretty sure you're like, holy crap, this looks so bad for you, and it is. This is not for everyday eating, but on a special occasion. Please don't be eating this every day because it is not healthy. There's nothing wrong with indulging every so often, but these potatoes are so worth it. Like, ooh. Make sure you kind of flatten it out in the bowl because it's harder to mix in that cream cheese. I'm actually gonna get a whisk and just whisk it through. And don't worry, it's all gonna melt in when you bake it anyway. But if you're gonna eat it cold, I would really make sure that it is properly mixed. Ooh. Always spilling. To this, we're gonna add in half our bacon and half our scallions. So half the scallions, save the rest for the top. Half of our bacon. This is bacon. I love bacon. And then with your cheese, you can use whatever cheese blend you want. I prefer cheddar and like this Mexican blend that we get at our store, which is, I believe, Monterey Jack, cheddar, asadero, and quesadilla cheese. But if you only have one, I would go with cheddar. We are gonna be using 2 cups of cheese, and I don't wanna hand shred cheese. I know it's better if you shred it yourself, which you can do, but it's just a lot easier doing this because we're gonna bake it in there anyway. I usually use about 1/2 to 3/4 of the cheese and then save the rest to coat the top. Using both my mixes here. Oh, You're probably like, wow, so much cheese, but don't worry about it. It's 3 pounds of potatoes. And last but not least, we're going to salt and pepper this because we want every layer to be seasoned. I would go a little lighter on the salt because bacon is already salty. So just a little bit of kosher salt and then tons of black pepper because I love black pepper. Give that a good mix. Ooh, come on. Yes. And you're probably going to use a bigger bowl than this. We got that all mixed and we'll wait for our potatoes to be cooked and then we'll be almost done. Our potatoes are out of the oven. They're nice and crispy on the outside and light and fluffy on the inside. And we're just going to add these straight into our mixture. Ooh. And our bowl is almost overflowing. And just thoroughly mix this through. Wish I had a bigger bowl. Probably be easier. I'm gonna move to a spatula because I like to wash dishes apparently. Not. And when that heat hits the cheese and the sour cream, oh, baby, baby. And it looks like a lot of cream mixture, but trust me, when it bakes up, whew, can we just look? Oh, I have to try one, I'm sorry. There are no words on how good this is. Like, wow. You could eat it like this, honestly. I'm sorry, lost for words. Now we are ready to plate it in our casserole dish. Now you're gonna put your potatoes into a 9x13 or whatever size you have. Oh, so good and creamy. And make sure you get all of that into your dish. Spread it out evenly and then top it off with your remaining ingredients. So that cheese, there's never too much cheese, let me tell you. Then your bacon bits just right on the top. And then your scallions. I like to leave some to garnish right after it's baked because I do like that raw taste, but if you don't, then you can cook them all at this point. And if this doesn't look like the perfect baked potato casserole, I don't know what is. I mean, you tell me. So at this point, you can either eat it as is, which is delicious, or you can bake it at 350 for about 10 to 15 minutes, or you can even wrap this up, put it in the fridge, and then bake it off whenever you need to. I got my oven preheated at 375. Bake that off for 10 to 15 minutes and we're gonna enjoy. We are straight out of the oven. Look at that cheese melted. Oh, baby. This was baking for about 12 minutes. I took it out and it's nice and melted and ooey and gooey, and I cannot wait to dip in. Ooh, just look at that. Oh my God, I'm so excited to eat this. Now we're ready to taste test. I got some pulled out on a plate here, but I just want you guys to see this. Can we just, I mean, look at that. There are no words. No words. To describe how good this is. That bacon with the saltiness and the green onion freshness, the creaminess, the potato is nice and moist and really, really perfectly cooked. I'm so excited to have shared this recipe with you guys. It's so good. Please, please, please comment below if you guys make this and let me know what you think and what you paired it with, a steak or a chicken, or you just like gobbled it up by itself. But that's it for today, guys. If you like this video, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Give this video a thumbs up and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.